The taste of justice. In a small village in Ghana, nestled between two lush hills, stood the Grand Kofi family house. Known for their wealth and influence, the Kofis employed several workers to maintain their sprawling estate. Among them was Amma, a young woman of modest background, who served as the family's maid. Amma was diligent, waking up before dawn to sweep the compound, fetch water, and prepare the children for school. Yet, despite her tireless efforts, she was treated poorly by her employers. Meals were scarce for Amma. Often, she was only given leftover scraps from the previous day's meals. It was a silent rule in the household: the help should not eat unless invited, and Amma was rarely invited. One evening, after a long day of work, Amma's stomach grumbled with hunger. The Kofi family had hosted a lavish party earlier that day. As she cleaned the kitchen, the aroma of leftover jollof rice and fried chicken wafted through the air. Her eyes fell on a large pot that sat unattended on the counter. Inside was a hearty serving of food, untouched and still warm. Amma hesitated. She thought of her younger siblings back in her village who depended on her wages. She had to keep her job. But the pangs of hunger gnawed at her resolve. Her hands trembled as she scooped a small portion of rice and placed it into a bowl. She ate quickly and quietly, savoring every bite as though it was her last. Unbeknownst to her, Madame Kofi had returned to the kitchen. Her sharp eyes immediately caught Amma in the act. "Amma!" Madame Kofi's voice thundered, making the young maid drop her bowl in fear. "What are you doing?" Madame Kofi demanded, her face a mask of fury. Amma stammered, her voice barely audible. I was hungry, madam." "Hungry?" Madame Kofi bellowed. "You dare steal from my kitchen? You will be punished for this insolence." That night, Amma was made to scrub the floors of the entire house as punishment. Her feet ached, and her back screamed with pain, but she bore it silently. The next day, word of the incident spread among the other workers. Kwame, the gardener, approached Amma during her break. He handed her a small loaf of bread. "You're not alone," he whispered. "Many of us have gone hungry here. It isn't fair." Encouraged by Kwame's kindness, Amma decided to confront her fears. She wrote a letter to the village chief, explaining the Kofis' unfair treatment of their workers. The chief was a respected figure, known for his commitment to justice. A week later, the chief arrived at the Kofi household, accompanied by his council. The family, startled by his unannounced visit, greeted him with forced smiles. "Madame Kofi," the chief began, "I've received complaints about your treatment of your workers." Madame Kofi's face turned red. "Chief, these are lies. My workers are well cared for." The chief raised a hand, silencing her. He turned to Amma. "Speak, child." Amma recounted her experience, her voice steady but firm. She spoke of the hunger, the scraps, and the endless work without proper nourishment. Other workers stepped forward, echoing her complaints. The chief listened intently before delivering his judgment. "Madame Kofi, your wealth does not excuse you from treating others with dignity. Henceforth, you are to ensure your workers are fed properly and treated fairly. Should I hear otherwise, I will not hesitate to take further action." Humbled, Madame Kofi nodded, though her face betrayed her displeasure. From that day on, meals were provided for the workers, and Amma noticed a shift in the household's atmosphere. Though her relationship with Madame Kofi remained strained, Amma felt a newfound sense of pride. She had stood up for herself and her fellow workers, proving that even the smallest voice could bring about change. And in her heart, Amma knew that justice had been served.